This is your old school traveler, and I'm back to tell you about my latest trip. You know, my latest trip to a city that kind of intrigues me, San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco is kind of interesting. I went there a long, long time ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I go there about 3 or 4 times a year. And now, over the last 10 years, I have watched San Francisco just deteriorate. I mean, not just in the homeless, the crime. It's just some of these. I ain't gonna call it a sanctuary city, but it probably is one. I just don't delve. I just don't delve that deep into it. But saying that, my issue with San Francisco is that during the daytime the weather is nice, but man, once the sun drops, the weather drops a lot. And if you're not used to that 25 to 30 degree temperature swing, it can be a hard city to get used to because you really enjoy the breeze from the coast, but dang, it feels like it's wintertime in the middle of the summer. Here's my problem too. Trying to find good food in San Francisco, I don't know what is San Francisco food that's unique. I don't know what's unique to San Francisco that I can't get somewhere else. And when I say that, I can get seafood on the East Coast. I can get seafood anywhere. Any country that has a coast, I can get seafood. I mean, it's nothing special about the crabs, about the lobsters. Those come from other areas. The fish is nothing unique to San Francisco that I can't get somewhere else. And traffic is not too bad. It is on the freeways, but it's not too bad in the cities and stuff. It moves a little slow, but it's always up and downhill. You got a couple streets that's flat, but for the most part, I'm talking about not just a slight incline of 5 or 10 degrees. You're going like 50 degrees up. It seems like it's almost like you're walking to the clouds. Yeah, you're walking to the clouds. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. Now, I do like some of the old parts of San Francisco, like Ashbury Heights and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of cool because that's give you memorabilia for the old rock stars and singers, stuff that, you really enjoyed, when you was growing up, like Jerry Garcia and all those kind of guys. But as a whole, I'm not a fan of San Francisco. Would I go back on my own money, my own time, now, knowing what I know now? No, no. The homeless is just one problem of many problems the city has. And the homeless here are off the chain. They'll piss on you if you're not careful. I mean, San Fran is just not one of those kind of cities that you really want to be. I don't even know. It's not a bad side. The entire city is almost the same, except for when you go down toward the coast, the Presidio and all that. That's all been cleaned up, But downtown, and it is not good, especially in front of the hotels. The nicer the hotel, the more homeless you're gonna see. That's just one of those kind of cities. The nicer the hotel, you're gonna see stuff you really, really don't want to see, and that's just the way it is. And I don't know what the city can do to clean this problem up, but I don't see the problem being cleaned up anytime soon. I don't see it being cleaned up anytime soon by anybody. And you don't know what to do when they confront you, the homeless, but it's just not the homeless. Let me tell you about the food. Like I said earlier, there's no food that's unique to San Fran that you only gonna get in San Fran. Now, they got a lot of diners, but the diners are going downhill as well. They got a lot of diners. But the food is one of those kind of things that what makes any dish there San Franciscan? I don't know. And also a lot of the restaurants have weird hours too. Close on Mondays, close on Sundays. These are some of the local restaurants that are not chains. Now the chains, you always gonna find them open 7 days a week, unless it's Chick-fil-A. They don't give a damn. The chains. But I like to experience, the local foods, local restaurants. I feel like I'm kind of giving back, but also I want quality for my money too. So I end up going to Oakland a couple times, and Oakland is not a place that you really want to deal with a lot if you don't have to. Now, I'm saying that, but Oakland is being re-gentrified. Oh yeah, big time. Oakland got Shake Shacks. Shocked the hell out of me. But but I guess it depends on what part of Oakland you're in. But back to San Francisco. If you go to San Francisco, I generally stay at the Embassy Suites by the airport. This time I decided to stay downtown at one of the Hilton properties. As soon as you walk outside, you are immediately confronted by the homeless. As soon as you walk outside. And for the most part, they don't bother you. It's just blight. And so I was going to eat, and here's the thing that gets me the most. San Francisco got about 2 million Chinese people in the city metro area. They got a bunch of them. I mean, a bunch. I mean, it's nothing unusual. You know, I've seen more Chinese than I've seen gays, which is unusual. But saying that, when I asked people in the hotels where's a good place to eat at, they send you to these upscale places to eat at. And they have, I went there with a girl named Catherine. She want to go to these, I think something with garlic, the Stinking Rose or some restaurant. And the theme of the restaurant is garlic in everything. Catherine enjoyed it. I don't care about ambience. I really don't. I'm a dude. I couldn't care less. I care about, do the food look good and is it going to taste good? It ain't really got to look good, as long as it tastes good. But, unfortunately, we eat with our eyes. If the eyes don't like it, the tongue is going to find a reason to not like it either. That's just the way the body works, especially Americans. We eat with our eyes. If our eyes don't like it, it's going to be tough to sell it to any other part of the body. But this place had garlic in everything on the menu. The Stinking Rose is a garlic-fused restaurant. I'm not into all this new wave, new stuff. No. I like garlic. To me, garlic is part of the Holy Trinity. I like garlic like I like onions and other stuff. But at the same time, I don't want garlic in everything I eat. I don't want garlic in my ice cream. I don't want garlic in my tea. I don't want garlic in my beer. And I'm not even a beer drinker, just the thought of it. I don't want garlic in my Hennessy. I don't want garlic in my, Jameson's or Jack Daniels or Patron, whatever it is. But they have found a way to put garlic in everything you can imagine. Now, saying that, when I want to go eat, I'm asking this person about a good Chinese restaurant. They gave me these upscale Chinese restaurants. So I had to do what I do. I went and asked the local, where do you guys eat? And they were Chinese, or they were immigrants Chinese, or they were visitors Chinese. I don't know what they were, but they were Chinese. They pointed to a place and kind of told me where to go at the area. And I went to this one area, and I seen this long line of people. And so I walked around to see where everyone was standing in line for. It was a Chinese place. And I looked at the people in line. They were Chinese. That told me that I should be in that line. And I went and I ate and I had some of the best Chinese food I've ever had. I can say that because I also had Chinese food in China. So I can say that. And people didn't really get, people there in San Fran didn't understand that if you go where the people are from that country and they say that food is good and everyone is in line, this line was like a block long. That should be what you telling, when people come visit. Hey, listen, go over here to Raffy's. Don't go to, Morton Steakhouse. Go to Raffy's. Raffy's going to hook you up. That's where everybody goes at. Because you have some restaurants, all their business come from tourists, and you have some restaurants, all their business come from the local people who live there. Those are the ones that I want to be associated with. So now, there's some other things about San Francisco I did like, watching some of the color of the houses in the old part of San Fran, going toward the Presidio. I love the Golden Gate Bridge, especially at sunset. There's not many views that you will get better than that. The Golden Gate Bridge at sunset. I took the GoPro and I had a blast. But also, the one thing about San Fran too is that San Fran is very, very expensive. I'm talking about expensive. You can go down to the wharf, but you're paying a lot of money just to go down there. You're not getting anything unique, anything cool. You're just paying a lot of money. I mean, you're paying a lot of money. It costs a lot more than the East Coast for similar things or the same thing. Yeah, get over that. That's one of the things that once you go to San Fran, you're going to pay a lot. Like I said, I stayed at the Hilton downtown, and it was a Hilton Garden or one of those Hilton properties, and I paid like about $400 a night, plus about $50 a night for parking, and I was there for 6 nights. So the flight between the East Coast and going to San Fran was about $1,100 round trip, and that's United. And now I could have got it cheaper if I would have flown Southwest to Oakland or to San Jose with the connection in Vegas or Phoenix or Denver. I could have got it probably for like maybe $900, but I took a direct flight because I said let me go direct to San Fran. And when you do that, you're gonna be on a midnight flight, or you're gonna leave early in the morning. East Coast, you leave early in the morning. In San Fran, you leave late, not really late by California time. You just get back to the East Coast late. So I spent a good $4,000 there for 6 days. That included the airfare, which was not a big deal because it was worth it to me to find out to not go again. Yep, I found out this is not a place that I'm going to go again. And San Fran got a lot of things like Mirror Woods. I really, really enjoyed that. That's north of San Fran, across the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a national monument or national forest, but it's not a national park. But it's at that level. But that's just a walking park. You see the redwoods, the tallest trees in the world. I really enjoyed that. I like to have a good walk so I can see what's there. But I'm also a national park fanatic. So whenever I get a chance to be close to a national park or a national monument or a Bureau of Land Management, property, I try and explore it because there's a lot of things I can do and learn. You're never too old to learn. Well, no, a lot of you guys have been too old to learn since you was 12. Yeah. So that's not true. I feel that I'm not too old to learn. I feel a lot of you ain't learned shit in the last probably 30, 40, 50 years. You were dumb then, you're dumb now. But that's just the way life rolls, though. But my whole point about San Francisco is that it's got some pretty parts. It just, unfortunately, downtown is not one of it. Now, you got Market Street and some other places that they're nice, but it's like when you turn the corner, a left or a right, off the main streets, even on the main streets in a lot of cases, you see some things you don't want to see, and they got a lot of liquor stores. And, when you got 3 and 4 liquor stores and lottery tickets and cigarettes being sold, you know what part of the city you're in. You in that part of the city that daytime's okay. Nighttime, running like hell. I mean, it just is what it is. So if you ever want to go to San Fran, you're going to have to roll the dice on that one. And the sad part about it is when you driving on the 101, coming from the south and you going into the city, and man, that's a pretty scenery because they got San Francisco written on the mountainside, and that's just pretty as hell. You're like, hey, I'm going, this is pretty. I'm going to an area that I should be in, But then you get downtown, and you're like, downtown. San Fran is a nice place if you're not downtown. When I say downtown, they got some streets that they kind of hide their blight because these streets are nice, like Market Street and some of the other streets. They're nice during the daytime, but at night, man, you could walk to them and they're all right. But some of the other parts of San Fran are not so good. Chinatown do not look impressive at all. And that surprises me. But then again, the Chinese aren't exactly the cleanest people in the world. As far as, they do like to spit a lot everywhere, anywhere, anytime, any place. But saying that, I guess if I went back to San Fran, they got a lot of hotels in some of the older parts of San Fran. I would stay at one of those hotels because they got some pretty parks, city parks. They're not big, But San Fran is not a big city land-wise. It's a big city population-wise, and the suburbs are huge. But a lot of people with a lot of money tend to live on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge. So don't be surprised if you cross the Golden Gate Bridge, you see areas, Marion County. I think every house there costs $2 to $3, $4 million. They're not special houses. It's just that's what the market calls for in California, and that's what people pay. So that is what it is. I mean, those houses out there are like a third of the size of the houses that I live in, but yet they cost 3 times the amount of money. But if the income out there supports it, it is what it is. You can't do anything about that, But the Golden Gate Bridge, you get a chance, you go see it. There isn't a lot more to do in San Fran outside of walking downtown, going to one of their 5,000 coffee shops that's on every corner, or it's 2 or 3 on every block, it seems. San Fran got a lot of coffee shops. And, parking is a premium in San Francisco because, like I said, it's not a big city land-wise. So you're not going to see a lot of things as far as parking goes, But I did find parking when I was there. Just that sometimes you just got to, find them. It is what it is. You just got to find them. But saying all that, if you get a chance, go to some of the national parks that are close, and go to Berkeley. Berkeley's nice. Oakland got some good parts about Oakland I did like, but Oakland got a lot of bad parts too. Crime is no joke in some of the places over there, But for the most part, during the daytime, they hide the crime. Oh yeah, they're very, very good at it. You walk around thinking, hey man, this is like Beverly Hills. This is nice. Then all of a sudden, you put the shades on and you're saying, holy hell, where am I and why did I get here? Then you start running like hell to get out of wherever you are that you should not be at the time you're there. That's just how it works. So, the one thing about San Fran is that the people are passionate about sports. Not European passion, but they are passionate about sports, which is kind of cool. But also, I didn't see a lot of restaurants as far as anything unique. I saw a lot of restaurants with some weird names, but I just didn't see anything that impressed me. Put it that way. I didn't see a lot of steakhouses. I mean, they had some, but it's the Ruth Chris, it's the Mortons and the Schuler's and all that kind of crap. I saw a lot more diners than I saw upscale restaurants. A lot more. And the diners, most of them are pretty big. And they've been there for like 50, 60 years. Mel's Diners was one of the biggest ones out there. But Mel Diners got like 5 different names because they're from the same family that got in a dispute and they split the properties up or whatever. And you can call me Mel 1, Mel 2, whatever it was, Mel Jr., I don't know. But if you don't mind walking, San Fran's a great city because you will be in shape. You will get some exercise, whether it's on a bike. If it's your car, you're gonna wet it. You're gonna wear the hell out of your car. And now they have a couple streets that are famous because they're the most crooked streets in the world, and that's cool to walk down that street once. But when you walk down something, the downside is you got to walk back up it. That's when you realize that was a hill I should have never tackled. And like I said, those are some of the tourist attractions. Now, a lot of tourists that goes to San Francisco are mostly from Asia. Most of them are from Asia, which I expect that because most people who live there look like they're from Asia or they're Polynesian, Hawaiian, or I don't know if it's Hawaiian, but maybe Polynesian is the right word. It could be from Hawaii, Guam. It could be from all those places over there. But you got a lot of Asians over there, and they are not friendly to people who don't look like them. That's just the way it is. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was walking around San Fran, and now San Francisco got all these Chinese, like I said earlier. These couple of Chinese young kids, look like they were almost student age, college, maybe just out of college. They walk up to me, a guy who looks nothing like them, and asked me where something's located. Yet, there are 5 million Chinese over there they could have asked. And they had an accent, a heavy Chinese accent. And I'm thinking you can find a better person to ask that question to than somebody who's 180 degrees from you. I don't look like you. I don't talk like you. And I look like I'm lost too. You see me walking slow, looking at every building, looking at addresses. I'm in your boat. And now you got these other Chinese people walking past me and them. You didn't think to ask them. And the chances are them speaking Chinese is a whole lot higher than me speaking Chinese. So that is kind of baffling me. Maybe they were just vetting me out to see what I do for a living or see where the next bomb could be planted. I don't know. But they definitely could have asked damn near anybody they passed other than me. But for some reason, they thought it'd be a good idea to ask me. And for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to call ICE. Because I'm kind of curious about them. I'm like, they're stupid as hell. But somehow they bought a plane ticket coming over here. And plane tickets between the West Coast and Asia is not cheap because you got to burn a lot of fuel to make that run. So my whole point is, California got some places to go. But I just would not make San Francisco my top 10. Even the crime of breaking in shops and breaking in stores and stuff, is not why they're in the top 10. The food sucks, the weather sucks. It's a long flight to find out that everything sucks pretty much. So that's just one of the things that it is what it is. And I'm not saying that San Francisco don't have nice people. I just couldn't find them. I'm sure if they'd have found me, they probably would have thought the same thing about me. Why is this guy giving us a hard time and why he's not nice? So this is the old school traveler giving you a tip about places to mark off. You just take it off your bucket list or take it off your list of things to do. Peace.